On the other side, you have Walshy and Strongside, two players who have taken that journey, won the 2007 National Championship together, held together to the final Boss Dynasty. When you look at this team, what you're going to see is great strategy, great communication, and a team of veteran presence going to be very hard to beat. And what I know, never to bet against Walshy. There's a reason he's a fan favorite. He's messed up my bracket numerous times.
So many.
So many times. Walshy cannot be counted out until the tournament is over. We'll see how Carbon plays this weekend. But a team that I don't think anyone is really worried about, our number 2 seed, Straight Rippin'.
And they should be worried about this team, Chris. Straight Rippin' picked up the 2009 best overall player in Hines. Now, the beauty with this pickup, besides the fact that he's the 2009 best overall player, he fits the exact same playing style as Elamite, so this team doesn't even have to adjust their playing style. The only difference is Hines does it better. We're going to see Snipedown become a dominant slayer like he was back in 2008. Yeah, he was good in 2009, but he could have been better.
Solid points, and that leaves us with the number 1 team in the world, the team that won 3 events last season. The 3-time MVP Pistola plays for him. It's Triggers Down.
Well, you certainly hit it on them already. They have a 3-time All-Star in Pistola, and then you look at SK and Hysteria. Hysteria did not play to the capabilities that he could have last season, Scott. I feel like he fell off a little bit, and now they're going to get revitalized again. You talk about how teams get a fresh start. They're going to get that with Neighbor. Neighbor's going to come in. Now he's a free-roaming Neighbor. He feels like he's playing with teammates that he could finally feel comfortable with, players who are actually better than him. That ego is going to be kept in check, and we're going to see a comfortable, nice Triggers Down. That's going to be very hard to stop. We've seen it in the middle of last season.
All right, so there you have it. You just found out who's playing on our top 10 teams. Keep an eye out all weekend long. Right now, we're going to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll break down the roster moves a little bit more. Who did the best moves? Who made the worst? You'll find out in a minute. Welcome back to the Hot Pockets pregame show. We just got done running down the top 10 teams. You know who's playing on them. Now it's time to talk about who made the best moves in the offseason. Scott, let's get it started with you. Who made the best roster change?
Well, that one's easy for me, Chris. That's Straight Rippin'. I mean, they not only did they pick up the 2009 best overall player, that's not even the big deal. This is the first time in a year and a half that Straight Rippin' has been a new team. The last time they were a new team was in 2008 in Toronto, where they just picked up Snipedown, and they didn't drop a series to one team. They staked dinner Triggers Down in the finals, 50-23 TS Narrows to end it. This team, revitalized, is scary. T-Squared gets his leadership back. Snipedown wants to play again, and we're going to see a beast mode legit. This is going to be the team to watch this weekend.
Well, and I agree. Straight Rippin', they made a pretty good move, Puckett, but I'm going to have to go with a different team here. I like what Instinct did on paper. When you look at what Instinct did, they get rid of Neighbor, they get rid of Fear Itself, but they add 2 national champions in Cloud and Elamite Warrior. Cloud just coming off his first victory, and Elamite a seasoned strategist. That's going to put them over the hump, finally get Roy and Lunchbox their first W of the season, or their first W of their career. It's never happened, but it's going to happen this season.
Instinct's going to get their first W. Big words from D-Mac. I got to love the addition of the players on Instinct there. But now we got to talk about the negative Nancy's here. Who made the worst moves in the offseason?
Now, for me, I don't think any team made necessarily a bad move, but if I had to pick on one team, I would say Believe the Hype. All right, look, you win the national championship and you break up. You just win $100,000 as a team. How are you going to break up? Oh, so maybe you have a little argument. There's no I in team. You can settle that difference. You just won $100,000. There's a reason you guys are the best team. You stick together. You work out the little kinks, and you come to the opener, and you prove that you're the best. You just don't break up. It doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, Scott's hating on the breakup. It didn't make sense to me, but hey, I like the new BTH team. I like where Cloud's at, and everyone seems to be happy. Let's move on. D-Mac, who made the worst move in your opinion?
Well, I'm not going to agree with Scott. There were teams that made bad moves, and when you look at Carbon, they were a prime example. Now, you lose Shockwave. That's not your fault. You lose him to retirement. You pick up Best Man, which in my opinion was a good move. But what really startled me was the dropping of Nated. When you picked up Nated, you have to understand, you go from an 8th place team to a 3rd place team instantaneously. It happened the very next tournament, and he kept them on that ride. What did Strong Side do? Strong Side has not done much in the past 2 seasons. He tried to take Status Quo on his back. It did not work out. He tried to take Final Boss on his back. They thought he was the final piece to the puzzle. It didn't work out there either. Strong Side has not come through when it has mattered most, when he has not been able to be that game changer that Nated has shown to be. That's exactly why I'm so disappointed with this move.
You know, can't be really happy with Carbon's move on paper, but mate, hey, maybe all the chemistry is going to work out for him this weekend. You have 2 duos. They might get along. It might click here in Orlando. We'll have to see if that happens. But guys, let's go back to the positive. It's time to talk about the teams we are most excited to watch this weekend. We'll give D-Mac kick us off.
Fine, you know, and I want to talk about Instinct. You know, I'm going to stay on this Instinct bandwagon. Look what they did, though. They add Cloud, and now they have Clutch. Or, no, I'm sorry. They add Cloud and Illuminate Warrior. I got touched up. And really what they do here, you add 2 national champions. You try to take Roy and Lunchbox over that hump. They're not going to be surrounded around Neighbor anymore. Now they're going to be able to be more of a complete team, play a different style, play Halo 3 the way it's supposed to be played. And that's what's going to really change about this Instinct squad.
You know, talking to Lunchbox on the phone, he said that this Instinct squad right now is the most comfortable he's ever felt playing with any teammate. So it looks like Instinct is playing pretty well. The LAN scores show it. Scott, I know you're watching a completely different team, though. Who are you looking out for this weekend?
You know, I just said Straight Rippin's the team to watch this weekend, but that they're expected to be that. I'm looking at Final Boss. We may see the rebirth of Final Boss this weekend. Ogre 2 is is one of the best players in every Halo for a reason. It's only a matter of time before he takes the game over, and that's what he's going to do on this team. He's got a practice squad. Fear itself, we've seen him bounce back from team to team, but now he's on a comfortable team on this Final Boss squad, and I expect big things out of him.
D-Mac, you're going with Instinct. Scott, you're watching Final Boss. I'm watching Believe the Hype this weekend. I have to say, watching them at the National Championships, I was blown away by the amount of skill I saw out of Demon D and Maniac. Their aggressive play style is what works in Halo 3. I expect them to pull off some upsets this weekend and throughout the season because they added the second half of Dynasty, 2 of the best support players in the game, and Destin and a pure gangster. I think this team will just overpower and overswarm their opponents as we saw them do in round 1 right here on the main stage earlier tonight. I think Believe the Hype is going to be the team to look out for if you're looking for upsets and possibly a top 3 finish. Yeah, I said it. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for our teams to watch, but let's dig in a little bit deeper with the players we're watching specifically. Who wants to take this one?
I'm staying on the bandwagon, and I am still going to go with Cloud from Instinct. What I really want to see from Cloud this event is how free Cloud plays. He's in a different situation. He's no longer the captain of Believe the Hype, but now he is a main slayer in a different, on a different team. When you look at Cloud, he's going to be able to get all the power weapons. He's going to be able to free roam, do whatever he wants. That's what's really going to excite me. That's why I want to watch Cloud so bad.
And Scott, you know, we all picked players that were on the teams to watch. You're picking a player from Final Boss, and it's not Ogre 2. Who are you watching this weekend?
I'm watching Fear itself this weekend, Chris, and I'll tell you why. Throughout the entire course of Halo 3, he has bounced back from every team. He's gone from Triggers down to Instinct to Final Boss to Instinct to Final Boss. The problem with all those teams were they weren't dedicated enough and they couldn't get the practice in. Now, with the addition of Tots on Final Boss is the most prepared team going into this event, and I expect Fear itself to do huge things. Tots, from what I hear, Tots brings out the best in Fear itself, and they don't even call it assisting Fear itself, they call it feeding him.
Well, feeding the Fear itself, the pretty long hair needs to grow somehow. All right, guys, well,
you better be hungry.
You're watching Cloud, you're watching Fear. I'm watching Demon D. As I mentioned earlier, the kid is the main slayer for Believe the Hype. He takes the power weapons for his team, and he puts them to use. Watch his sniper rifle on Narrows and Pit especially, just like in that clip there. You see, he is the game changer that Nated was for Carbon last season. He's the one that gets into the opponent's face, disrupts it with a double kill, and opens up the flag cap opportunities. I think Demon D will continue to do that, and with support from a pure gangster, Destin, and Maniac, he will really shine this season. Demon D is my player to watch for Orlando, but he's not the only player I'm watching. I'm also looking out for a player that we saw at the Nashville Combine, the Doritos Pro Gaming Combine, and that's a really good noob. I saw this kid in the first round of free-for-all and immediately went up to him, slapped him with an evaluation sticker. He went on to go into the finals of the free-for-all, Scott, and also win the event with his team Adrenaline Rush.
Now, you know, this kid was full of talent. I was extremely impressed that we found this guy. I mean, literally, his playstyle was more unique than I've ever seen. It was like watching Pistola from Halo 2 and Free For All. He was very fluent, never really hesitated, and actually helped his team out a lot, which you don't see from a lot of good FFA players. That's why I enjoyed him so much. He's got a lot of potential, and I see him rising.
All right, a really good Noob, Cloud, Demon, D, Fear itself. We're all going to be looking out for those guys. That's going to do it for the roster discussions. We're going to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll break down the brackets. And welcome back to the Hot Pockets pregame show. D-Mac, Scott was here, Chris Bucket up in the booth. You know us. Guys, it's time to party. We just talked about the rosters. Now it's time to talk about the bracket. And guys, when I'm looking at this bracket, the first thing I look at is the key.